Hi, hello, my name is Sydney. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be going over every single book on my physical TBR, and we're also going to see what books I'm going to be potentially unhauling. So I feel like this might be a little bit of a longer video, so I'm not going to talk too much right now, and we're just going to get into every single book on my physical TBR. This whole cart is all of my physical TBR books, as well as this bottom shelf over here on this bookcase. On this cart, these are all of my more priority reads. So we're gonna go over these ones first. And if there's a book on here that I think I might unhaul, I am going to put that off to the side so we can kind of keep track of those books as well. These books up here are currently on my TBR for the month, but we have Starside by Alex Astor. This is a new release from her, and I am so excited to read it because I've heard so many good things about this book. Then we have Crescent City, the first book, which is House of Earth and Blood. And if you didn't know, this is extremely thick. This is the first book in the series by Sarah J. Maas. I am so scared of this book solely because it is an extremely long and thick book. So we will see if I end up getting to that this month. Then we have Mile High by Liz Tom 40. This is the first book in the Windy City series, and I am so excited to read this. I have seen a lot of people really like this series as a whole, so I can't wait to actually jump into it. Then we have the newest release from Cara Bastone, which is No Matter What. I have read one Cara Bastone book so far, and that has been my only 5-star read this year. I've also seen a lot of people really enjoying this. Then I have Shatter Me by Tahera Mafi. This is the first book. I believe it's just the Shatter Me series. It doesn't have the name on here, but this is an OG popular book talk series. This was definitely not on my radar, and it has the potential of becoming unhauled. But when I picked it from my TBR jar, I am kind of intrigued, and I feel like I might end up enjoying it. So we will see, because maybe she is actually going to get the recognition she deserves. Okay, this book just fell out of the back, but this is the second book in the Crescent City series. This is House of Sky and Breath. Next up, we have An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir, and if I pronounce any of these authors' names wrong, I apologize, but this is the first book in a series as well. A lot of these books I bought because I saw people really hype them up all over the bookish community, so that is definitely going to be a reoccurring theme that you see with most of these books, because I'm not gonna lie, I definitely have a little bit of a book buying problem, but I'm really trying to slow down on that and actually tackle the books on my TBR. Next up, we have another fantasy. This is Belladonna by Adeline Grace, and I have also heard very many people end up liking this series. Stephanie Garber, one of my all-time favorite authors, actually has a little quote on the back of this, but to be completely honest, I just haven't been really intrigued into picking this up recently, which is why it's still on my physical TBR. I have Kingdom of the Wicked, and this is by Carrie Maniscalco. This is also a YA fantasy. I actually did pick this up, and I ended up just like soft DNFing it, so I really did get very far through this book. I just was in a really bad reading slump at the time, so that's why I didn't finish it. But I will be coming back to this book because I have heard this series is actually pretty good. Next, we have Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. I've heard somewhere that it kind of gives a little bit of like a Caraval-esque vibes, but I'm pretty sure this is adult, whereas Caraval, that trilogy, is young adult. I absolutely love the Caraval trilogy and the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy by Stephanie Garber. So once I heard that, that was all I needed to know for me to actually pick up this book. We have Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, and this is one of the books that has been on my physical TBR for probably the longest. To be completely honest, it just didn't catch my attention, and I haven't wanted to pick it up So this is going to be our first book in the potential to be unhauled. We have the third book in the Chestnut Spring series, which is Powerless by Elsie Silver. I have enjoyed the first two books in this series so far, and I only recently picked this book up, but I will definitely continue on with this series, and I'm excited to jump back in. We have First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I know when this book first came out, a lot of people really liked it, and it just hasn't really been on my radar, if I'm being completely honest. I feel like this would be a good like Valentine's Day, February read, just because it gives me like Valentine's Day and February vibes. We have Runaway Love by Melanie Harlow, and there are these cute little kisses on the edge, and I don't really know too much about this book. It looks like it's Single Dad and Nanny. Next up, we have Flock by Kate Stewart. I had picked one book that was on the buy one get one 50% off table, so I feel like I had to pick another one, and the only other book that was on that table was this one that I thought might be even, just a little bit interesting. And another issue I have is whenever I'm at Barnes & Noble and looking to buy new books or just browsing, I find myself looking up the Goodreads reviews all of the time to see if it is actually a good book or has potential to be like an actually good rating for me, which I really need to get out of that habit of doing, because just because somebody else might not like a book doesn't mean I'm not gonna like it. I feel like if I read the back of a book and it sounds interesting to me, I should just pick it up. Next up, we have The X-Files by Jessica Joyce. This has also been on my radar for a while. I just haven't picked it up. And I feel like this is like a summertime vibe book. So I feel like I'm gonna end up picking this one up sometime very, very soon. We have It's All in Your Head by Sabina, and I don't know how to say her last name, so I'm not going to even try to pronounce it. And the reason I picked this book up is because I actually saw it on TikTok, and somebody was saying that it has chronic illness representations in it, which I actually have a chronic illness, and I thought that that was really, really interesting. You never really see those types of things in books, and you actually, I'm pretty sure both of the characters have these chronic illnesses. So that is the main reason I picked up this book, and also it didn't even have a lot of Goodreads reviews, so I'm hoping to pick this up sometime soon because it does sound like it would be a book that I can really relate to. We have the fifth book in the Boys of Tommen series, and that is Taming Seven by Chloe Walsh. This is Gibbsy and Claire's book. This actually does not match any of my other books from the Boys of Tommen series because I could only find this white cover with these stupid sprayed edges. I don't know why this is the only one I could find, but I will be picking this up soon because I absolutely love the Boys of Tommen series. If you guys have not read this series yet, please, I am begging you to pick this series up. Back here, we have Beartown by Frederick Bachman, which is the first book. I believe it is a trilogy. I've read one book by Frederick Bachman so far, and I absolutely fell in love with his writing. That book was Anxious People, and that one was actually the book that brought me out of my reading slump. And I know a lot of people really love this series, and this is just giving me very much winter vibes, so I think I'm going to save this more towards the end of the year so that I can get all the vibes when I'm reading this book. Next, I have Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman. This is the first book in this very, very long series as well. And I actually did listen to some of this book on audiobook, but I ended up DNFing it. I'm not sure if it's a hard DNF or a soft DNF yet. I don't know. I just wasn't really vibing with the video game aspect or the main character of the book. I don't know, something was just off for me, but I do know a lot of people really, really like this series, so I might try to give it another shot. This book is so heavy. This is Great Circle by Maggie Shipstade, and I actually got this from a blind date with a book. When I read the synopsis that was on the little front of the blind date with a book, it sounded really interesting, but if I'm being completely honest, once I actually figured out what book it was and read read the summary. I don't know if this is going to be something that I will pick up anytime soon, especially since I do have a bunch of other books that are higher up on my radar. So unfortunately, I am going to put this on my potential for an unhaul. Last book on this shelf, we have Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. This has been on my TBR for a while, and the only reason I picked up this book is because I've actually watched the Netflix series that was adapted from this book, and I loved that series. This is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer, I believe that's an L, Armentrout, and this is a part of a series as well. Do I know much about it? No, but I saw people reading it at the time when I picked it up, so that's why I picked it up. Next, we have The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. This is another book that I feel like I would enjoy. I just don't know when I'm going to pick it up. I know a lot of people like Olivia Blake's writing. This book back here is probably the most intimidating book on my physical TBR, and that is Alchemized by Sen Lin Yu. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. Guys, this is a brick. This is heavy. I could like use this as a weight to work out with because holy freaking crap. I'm pretty sure this is like well over 1,000 pages. I am definitely going to save this for like the fall time because I don't know, the cover is just very much giving fall. We have One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. This is the first book in a duology, and I believe I tried to read like the first couple of chapters, and at the time it just wasn't catching my attention, so I decided to not finish it at the time, but I know a lot of people do like this duology, so I will be keeping her. Then we have The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas, and this is a part of the Throne of Glass series, and I know there are a couple of different reading orders that people follow. I have seen the most recommendations to read The Assassin's Blade first, and I have actually already listened to this whole entire book on audiobook. But if I'm being completely honest, I feel like I didn't give it the attention that it deserves because I know so many people absolutely love the Throne of Glass series. So I think to do it justice, I'm going to have to actually read it and not listen to it on audiobook so I can give it the full attention. This is also a series that really intimidates me because it is so long. Next up we have Immortal Dark, and I bought this I believe sometime at the end of last year, and I don't know why, but to me it's giving me like October spooky vibes. So I know it's vampires, but honestly that's really all I know about the book, and I picked it up because I saw a couple people recommend it on Book Talk. Then we have Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wang. I have also seen a couple of people read this book, and that's also why I ended up picking this up. But to be completely honest, again, I don't really know too much about this, but I get influenced very easily. We have If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. I did listen to some of this on audiobook. Again, I just feel like this book probably isn't the best to listen to on audiobook. I don't know if I'm ever gonna go back to this, so I'm going to put it on my potential for unhaul. We have the first book in the Zodiac Academy, and this is the longest series I have ever seen. I swear whenever I see this in Barnes & Noble, I am like in shock as to how many books are out in this series. But I heard that there is like a love-hate relationship with the people that have read this series, or just like even some of the books in this series. Either you really love it or you really hate it. So eventually I will pick this book up. She is kind of thick. We have The Jazad Heir by Sarah Hashem. And this is the first book. I believe this is just a duology. Again, I picked this up because I saw several people recommending it. We have Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I'm not gonna lie, I, again, picked this book up because I saw a bunch of people recommending it. This is a very long book. And again, just very intimidating. I believe there's 2 books out in this series, and I have heard a lot of people like it, but I don't know when I'm gonna pick it up. Next up, we have Fearful by Lauren Roberts, and this is the last novella in the Powerless series and the last like book in the series. Technically it's a trilogy, But I have seen a lot of people online saying that after they finished the series and picked up this novella, it kind of really just ruined the series for them. But I will not be reading it because I really don't want it to ruin the series for me. So we're just gonna put her off to the side so she can go with the other little family. Next up, we have Heartless Hunter by Kristen Cicerelli. And at the time when this came out, so many people were raving about it. So that's why I bought it. I believe this is a duology as well, but I don't know. It just hasn't been very high up on my radar really at all. Next up, we have Anthema and Whatever by Carrie Lake. This is also a very thick book, but I really like the sprayed edges on it. When I read the synopsis, I thought it sounded very interesting, but this is very much giving like fall vibes to me, so that is when she will hopefully, fingers crossed, be read. We have God of the Woods by Liz Moore. I did start this on audiobook not that long ago, and I just didn't finish it. I don't know what was my problem at the time. I usually really like listening to audiobooks, but for some reason, I just wasn't really captured by this book. Next up, we have The Storm by Rachel Hawkins, and this is a newer book. I actually went to the author signing for this book. This is definitely giving me more of summer vibes. I believe it's in Alabama, and there is a hurricane or something that ends up happening. So I'm going to save this for more of the summertime. Okay, those were all of the books that are on my actual TBR cart. Oh my god. Okay. I hope those can just stay there and mind their own business for now. We are going to start off by going over all of the books over here. The first two we have on the shelf over here are Business Casual by B.K. Borison. This is the first book in a series. I honestly don't think I'm ever going to pick this up, so I am going to unhaul it. We have People Watching by Hannah Bowman Young. I've read, I believe, one book by Hannah Bowman Young so far, but this is definitely giving fall vibes. I did buy it when it came out, but I'm going to wait for the fall time to read this one. Next up, we have The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. This is the first book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. This, again, is another book that is more of an OG book talk book. And I don't know, it just doesn't sound super intriguing to me, and I haven't seen a lot of people talk about it in a while. So I am also going to put this on the potential for unhaul. We have Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. This is a cowboy romance, and this is the first book in this. I don't know what this series is called. I don't know if I like cowboy romance that much. I am going to put this on the potential for dehaul pile because I don't know if it's for me, and I honestly never ever think about it. We have Twisted Love. This is the first book in the Twisted series by Anna Huang. Again, this is another book that is more of an OG book talk book. This has also been on my shelf for a very long time. I am going to put it in the potential for unhaul. Another book by Anna Hong, we have King of Wrath. Again, another book that I don't know if this is going to be my cup of tea. I am going to put it on my potential for unhaul. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I'm pretty sure this is a YA series or trilogy, and this is also another more of an OG book talk book. And I know there's a lot of hype around this, but honestly, I don't think it's ever going to be anything that I'm going to pick up, so I will be unhauling. We have Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. When this book first came out, it sounded really fun to me. I feel like this might be something I'm still interested in, so I am going to keep this on my TBR for a little bit longer. Next up, we have Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, and this is the first book in this series. I did try listening to this on audiobook, but if I'm being completely honest, I could not get into it. I was very bored. Unfortunately, I don't think this cozy fantasy is going to be for me, so I'm going to put that in the unhaul pile. Next up, we have Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco. And I have heard that you should read The Kingdom of the Wicked or whatever that trilogy series is called before jumping into this. You don't have to. I've heard a couple of people recommend doing that just to get a little bit of more background on the characters. but I'm going to keep this on my TBR. Next up, we have 2 books that I have not read the first book in the series yet, and that is Two Twisted Crowns and Foxglove. We have The Way I Used to Be, and I have heard that this book is extremely, extremely sad and makes a lot of people cry, but I am going to put this in the potential unhaul pile because I honestly can't even tell you if I will ever pick that up. Next up, we have Bride by Ali Hazelwood, and I bought this book because I honestly just feel like the hype of Ali Hazelwood really, really got to me. Do I think I'm gonna read this? Probably not. So potential unhaul. We have Stephen King, Billy Summers, and I really want to read the Stephen King book, but I think I might start off like in order of the recommended way to read his books. So I am going to keep this for now, and I will definitely read that sometime, I don't know. We have Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. Again, the Ali Hazelwood hype just got to me, so that's why I picked this book up. I don't think it's going to be something that I like, so I'm going to potentially unhaul that. We have The Pairing, and again, I picked this book up because it sounded interesting, but I have not thought about it since I picked it up, so potential unhaul. We have Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. This is the first book in the Lakefront Billionaire series, and I really don't know if this is going to be something that I like either, but I do kind of want to keep it on my TBR just because maybe one day I'll pick it up. Next up, we have Unnatural by Mia Sheridan, and I really, really enjoyed the first book in this series, but I am going to keep this. It is giving very much fall vibes. Next, we have the Strawberry Patch Pancake House, and this is by Laurie Gilmore. If you guys haven't seen any of these books by Laurie Gilmore, then you wouldn't know, but all of these books have like these really cute little whimsy and cute vibe covers, and if I'm being completely honest, that's really the only reason why I picked this one up. I read the first one, started to read the second one, and I thought I was going to continue with the series, but I am probably not, because if I'm being honest, I really didn't like the first one and I couldn't get into the second one. So I'm going to put this in potential unhaul. We have Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. I believe that this is the second or third book in an interconnected standalone series, and I haven't really thought too much about this in a while, but I do want to read the other books by Sarah Adams that are a part of this world, so I'm going to keep this for now. We have another book by Sarah Adams, and that is The Match, and I actually picked this book up because I thought it sounded so cute. I believe our female main character actually works for like a service dog company, and so she helps like train service dogs for people, and I just thought that was so sweet. So if I ever need like a short little palette cleanser book, maybe this could be perfect for that, so I am going to keep that for right now. We have 2 books by Elsie Silver. This is Wild Love and Off to the Races. These are both the first book in different series that Elsie Silver also has. I am going to keep these because I feel like I will read them sometime. I do just want to finish the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver before I start any other series from her. Next, we have Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. I honestly just really freaking love this cover and the rest of the covers in this series, but I'm pretty sure this is more of a darker romance, and I don't know if that's going to be something I'm into, but I think I'm going to keep this on my TBR. We have How to End a Love Story, and I'm pretty sure I started to listen to this on audiobook. I didn't get too far into it. I ended up just like stopping after a chapter or two, and I think I'm gonna put this on my potential for unhaul because I haven't heard many people talk about it, which I know that shouldn't dictate if I keep something or read it or not. I have read the back of this a couple of times and it just hasn't really caught my eye. We have One Last Shot. This is a special edition I got from Afterlight, and it is very pretty. I have heard a couple of people talk about it. To be honest, I don't know too much about it. She is giving a very much summertime vibe. I feel like I'm going to keep this on my TBR just because I really like the way it looks, and I think it might be something that I could potentially be interested in. Last but not least, we have the Hotel Nantucket by Ellen Hildebrand, and I know that a lot of people really like her, and I got this book because I feel like Ellen Hildebrand is like a very well-known author for people to like read at the beach or give more of that like summertime vibe. So that's why I picked this up. I did start to read this a couple of years ago and I never finished it. So we will see if I end up picking this one back up. Okay, so we have 49 books that are a part of my physical TBR that I will be keeping. And then I have 65 in total that are including the ones that I am keeping and the ones that I am potentially going to unhaul. I feel like that isn't too bad. I will say I'm not like super mad at myself. There are a lot of books that I don't know when I'm going to read. If any of these are still on my TBR and I haven't even thought about picking them up since now, I'm definitely going to unhaul them because, I don't know, I want to make room for books that I will actually recommend to you guys, books that I've actually read. So we will see where we are at the end of the year and reevaluate everything. I will say I haven't felt very excited about any of the books on my physical TBR in a while, which is very, very unfortunate. So I think I am potentially going to go to Barnes and Noble and get some more books that have been on my radar. I have a cart on my Barnes and Noble app that I believe is like 11 or 12 books are in there. So we will see. Those are all books that I'm very excited to get to, and I have been holding back a lot on actually buying books and been really, really trying to actually read the books that I have on my shelves. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there are any of these books that you think that I should read immediately, or if there is a book that you really, really loved and really, really recommend, please let me know in the comments because I need to know if any of these books are really good, especially any of the books that I said that I will potentially unhaul if I don't get to them soon. Please just let me know any thoughts, opinions, recommendations, and maybe even validate me if you guys have read any of the books that I said I was going to potentially unhaul so that I know, okay, maybe I don't need to spend my time reading some of those books and I can clear up space on my shelves. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to stay tuned for more videos from me, and happy reading!